What if I told you that the solid world around you, the chair you're sitting on, the screen you're watching, is not truly solid at all? What if I told you it exists in a state of suspended, shimmering potential, waiting for one single ingredient to bring it into being? That single, powerful ingredient is not money, effort, or even time. It's something you possess an infinite supply of, yet may have never learned how to use consciously. It is the focused, creative power of your own awareness. This isn't just mystical philosophy or wishful thinking. This is a journey into the heart of quantum mechanics, where cutting-edge science reveals a startling truth. You are not merely living in reality. You are actively creating it. Moment by moment, stay with me, because once you grasp this principle, you will never see your life the same way again. What I am about to share with you will fundamentally alter the very foundation of how you understand your existence. The moment you truly grasp this singular principle, everything you thought you knew about reality becomes obsolete. Here is the radical, world-shattering truth. The world around you, in its most fundamental state, exists as a shimmering ocean of pure potential until the precise moment you choose to acknowledge it. Your environment isn't concrete, it isn't predetermined, and it certainly isn't just sitting there, waiting for you to decode its mysteries. Instead, it is suspended in a state of infinite possibility, patiently waiting for the focused beam of your conscious awareness to call it into being. This concept transcends ancient mystical philosophy. It is deeply rooted in the mind-bending discoveries of cutting-edge quantum mechanics. The groundbreaking double-slit experiment, a cornerstone of modern physics, revealed something so bizarre that it shattered our classical understanding of reality. When scientists fired subatomic particles, the very building blocks of our universe, through two small slits without observing them, these particles behaved like shy ghosts. They didn't act like solid pellets, but spread out like ethereal waves of pure potential, existing simultaneously in countless possible states across the spectrum of possibilities. However, the instant a conscious observer, a detector, was set up to watch which slit the particles went through, something extraordinary occurred. The wave of potential instantly vanished, and in its place, a definite, solid particle snapped into existence at a single point in space, as if it had made a choice. The mere act of conscious observation fundamentally transformed the very nature of reality itself. This incredible discovery reveals a startling and empowering truth. You are far from being a helpless bystander in the grand cosmic drama. You were not placed here to simply endure a predetermined storyline written by forces beyond your control. You are, in fact, the conscious director of the quantum theater of your own existence. You possess the innate power to collapse the infinite potential of the universe into singular, concrete experiences through the focused, deliberate application of your awareness. But here is the crucial detail that most people don't understand about this profound creative process. The collapse from shimmering possibility into solid reality doesn't happen randomly or through simple wishful thinking. It follows specific quantum principles that govern how your consciousness interacts with the vast field of potential. When quantum physicists study this phenomenon in their laboratories, they observe that the act of measurement, which is truly an act of focused attention, doesn't just reveal what was already there. It actually determines what becomes real from that sea of infinite possibilities. Think about this in the context of your daily life. Right now, countless versions of your future exist simultaneously in the quantum field. There is a timeline where you are living your most magnificent dream life. There is another timeline where you are still stuck in your current patterns. And there are infinite variations in between. The question isn't whether these possibilities exist. Quantum mechanics confirms that they absolutely do. The crucial question is, which one will you collapse into your reality through the power of your consistent observation? This is precisely where most people get trapped in a cycle of repetition. They believe they are observing their reality objectively, but what they are actually doing is continuously selecting and reinforcing the same version of reality, making it their ongoing experience. When you wake up in the morning and your first act is to check your problems, review your limitations, and mentally rehearse your current story of struggle, you are not just witnessing what is. You are actively casting a powerful vote for what continues to be. You are instructing the quantum field to serve you another day identical to the last. Yet, the vast majority of humanity operates under the illusion that their circumstances are fixed and unchangeable. Day after day, they engage in identical fault patterns, trigger the same familiar emotional responses, and perpetuate the same behavioral cycles. They continuously focus their attention on the current situation, and through this repetitive, unconscious observation, they endlessly recreate the same reality. This isn't happening because they consciously desire it, but because they have never discovered how to redirect the powerful, creative lens of their perception. But imagine for a moment that you possess this knowledge. What would happen if you ceased viewing your existence through the old, scratched filters of scarcity and limitation, and instead began observing with purposeful intention, unwavering trust, and genuine wonder? What if, rather than fixating on what is absent from your life, you trained yourself to perceive the unlimited potential that is always present? What if, instead of dwelling on past disappointments, you started attuning your energy to the magnificent future that is beckoning you forward? This represents the core invitation of conscious reality creation, and it begins right here, in this very moment. Reality is not something that occurs independently of you. It manifests directly through your participation. The quantum field, that invisible, intelligent matrix of vibrational energy that underlies all of existence, pulses with unlimited possibilities. It doesn't respond to your verbal declarations or your fleeting, wishful thoughts. Instead, it responds to what you consistently observe with focused energy, genuine emotion, and coherent intention. The field isn't processing your words. It is interpreting your energetic signature. So, let me pose this crucial question to you. Where are you directing your conscious attention? In every single moment, your focus operates like a powerful, divine spotlight, illuminating one possible version of reality while leaving all others in darkness. Are you casting that precious light on anxiety, uncertainty, and limitation? Or are you deliberately directing it toward confidence, appreciation, and an expansive vision for your life? Here is a practical example that demonstrates this principle in action. Imagine two people experiencing the exact same challenging situation. Let's say an unexpected job loss. Person A observes this event through the lens of limitation. They immediately focus on financial fears, feelings of rejection, and the story of scarcity. They emotionally engage with faults like, "Why does this always happen to me?" and "I'll never find something better." Their inner world becomes cold, constricted, and fearful. Person B, however, observes the very same event through the lens of possibility. They deliberately focus on the potential for new opportunities, growth, and expansion. They emotionally engage with faults like, "What new door is wanting to open for me now?" and "This is redirecting me towards something even greater." Their inner world feels expansive, hopeful, and full of light. Both individuals experienced identical external circumstances, but they are observing, and therefore creating, completely different realities. Person A is actively collapsing a timeline of struggle and limitation into their experience. Person B is collapsing a timeline of opportunity and expansion. The quantum field responds to both with perfect, impersonal precision, delivering future experiences that perfectly match their sustained observation. This is not about positive thinking. It is about understanding that your observation literally determines which quantum possibility becomes your lived reality. The field doesn't judge which observation is better or worse. It simply and faithfully responds to whatever you consistently focus on with emotional intensity. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance and opportunity while others struggle relentlessly despite working hard. It is not about worthiness or luck. It is about which timeline they are consistently observing into existence. Most individuals attempt to transform their circumstances by manipulating external conditions. But authentic transformation, genuine reality shifting, occurs when you revolutionize what you choose to consciously observe. Each time you emotionally invest in a particular thought, you are actively observing it into existence. When you repeatedly focus on what is malfunctioning in your life, you are feeding those patterns with your precious life force energy, making them increasingly substantial and real. Conversely, every time you attune to elevated possibilities, even when they haven't physically manifested yet, you draw them closer to physical expression. You initiate the quantum process of collapsing potential into form. This is not wishful thinking or New Age fantasy. It is measurable quantum science. As pioneering neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza demonstrates, the location where you place your conscious attention determines where you direct your energy. And that energy becomes the instruction manual for the quantum field. Not your physical efforts, not your struggles, but your awareness and your state of being. This profound understanding means you do not need to force your way into a transformed existence. You simply need to become the observer who perceives a new reality already taking shape. You must cultivate a deep trust that reality is not rigid. It is malleable, exquisitely responsive, and sensitively attuned to the quality of your focus, given that everything in your environment is a field of potential waiting to be observed into concrete existence. What will you choose to perceive next? This marks the beginning of an entirely new way of living, not as someone passively hoping that external circumstances will change, but as someone consciously choosing how to interact with the field of possibilities. Moment by moment, as an aware observer, as an intentional creator, let this be your starting point, because what unfolds next will permanently transform how you perceive, feel, and shape your reality. Your awareness is not limited to your physical brain. It transcends the boundaries of space, time, and circumstance. It serves as the invisible architect of reality, the quiet, creative intelligence that molds form from the field of pure potential. The external world you perceive is not the source of your internal experience. It is the mirror reflection of it. And this reflection process begins long before any physical action or event takes place. Your consciousness serves as the foundation, the fertile soil, and the seed of creation. The quantum field provides the nourishing ground, and your observation is the gentle catalyst that allows potential to bloom into reality. So, we've established that your focus is the creative force that collapses potential into reality. But what happens when what you consciously desire seems to conflict with what you actually experience? This brings us to a deeper, more sophisticated layer of this practice. It's not enough to occasionally focus on what you want. You must become aware of the powerful, often hidden, unconscious patterns that are observing reality for you 24 hours a day. So, we have established the foundational truth. Your focused attention is the divine force that calls reality into being from the infinite field of potential. But this immediately raises a crucial question that many of you might be feeling. If I consciously desire one thing, why do I so often experience the opposite? This is where we move from understanding the principle to mastering the art. It is where we confront the powerful, often hidden, currents of our own consciousness. The truth is, many people live in a state of profound energetic incoherence, like trying to drive a car with one foot pressed firmly on the gas and the other slammed on the brake. They consciously believe they are worthy, but unconsciously feel they are unworthy. They desire abundance with their minds, but their bodies emotionally vibrate with the frequency of scarcity. They visualize success for a few minutes a day, but unconsciously expect failure for the rest of it. The quantum field, in its perfect neutrality, receives these chaotic, mixed signals and responds with precisely matched, mixed results. You get a little progress here, followed by a frustrating setback there. You receive just enough encouragement to keep you hoping, but not enough consistent alignment to create real, lasting transformation. To move beyond this, achieving coherence requires what I call quantum self-awareness. This is the ability to observe not just your fleeting conscious thoughts, but the entire, rich spectrum of your inner experience. This includes your subtle emotional undertones, your deeply ingrained unconscious beliefs, your moment-to-moment energetic state, and the sacred quality of your attention itself. When you develop this profound level of awareness, you can finally begin to align all aspects of your consciousness, your thoughts, your emotions, your body, and your spirit, and point them all in the direction of a single, desired outcome. The invitation is both exquisitely simple and utterly revolutionary. Begin monitoring your own focus as if it were a sacred navigation system. Learn to interrupt the automatic impulse to observe what you don't want. Lovingly withdraw your precious attention from the stories and dramas that cause you suffering. And then, with compassion, dedication, and consistent practice, place your awareness where your soul is guiding you, because what you choose to observe with genuine, heartfelt love inevitably, undeniably, becomes real. You were never simply positioned in this existence to passively watch events unfold like a spectator in a theater. You came here to shape reality with the power of your conscious presence. So many people continue believing they are waiting for something external to shift, waiting for the right career, the perfect relationship, better health, or the big opportunity to arrive. But in the quantum realm, nothing moves until you observe it into motion. Nothing materializes from the field of potential until your consciousness gives a clear instruction. This. I choose this. I choose to stabilize this possibility and make it real. This is the pivotal moment when your identity transforms from someone who is constantly reacting to reality to someone who is consciously collapsing reality into form. You are not merely watching this cosmic movie, you are directing it. You are simultaneously the lens through which reality is perceived, the light source that illuminates it, the screenplay that gives it meaning, and the screen upon which it is projected. Every time you focus your attention on something with genuine emotional investment, you are assigning it profound significance in the quantum field. You are not simply perceiving it, you are collapsing a wave of infinite possibility into a hard particle of actual, lived experience. This explains with perfect clarity why certain painful patterns continuously repeat in your life. You keep observing them, you keep feeding them with your focused attention, and the universe, being infinitely responsive and non-judgmental, faithfully reflects them back to you, again and again. This is not cosmic punishment. It is precise, impersonal mechanics. The quantum field isn't delivering what you deserve in a moral sense. It is delivering what you reinforce through your consistent observation, your dominant emotion, and your assumed identity. This understanding is what makes you so incredibly powerful, and it is also why so many people unconsciously perpetuate cycles they no longer desire. But here is where the transformational shift occurs, when you begin to observe a new narrative, a new reality, even before it physically exists, when you begin to feel the feelings of your dream fulfilled. You start folding fresh, beautiful possibilities into your timeline, not because you forced them, but because you witnessed them with sufficient duration, clarity, and emotional coherence that they had no other choice but to respond. This is the very essence of quantum collapse. Possibility transforms into presence, and it occurs directly through your conscious, heartfelt participation. When you truly comprehend that your observation holds this magnitude of creative power, you stop delegating your transformation to external forces. You stop declaring, "When life provides me with peace, then I will feel peaceful." And you start affirming with unshakable certainty, "When I observe and cultivate peace within myself, life will mirror it back to me." Envision yourself, right now, observing two parallel realities. One timeline shows you still cycling through the same old emotions, still looking for evidence to validate your limitations, still mentally cataloging everything that hasn't worked out. The other timeline already exists, right now, in the quantum field. A timeline where you have become the version of yourself who is liberated, joyful, abundant, and unconditionally loved. Both timelines are equally real as potentials, but only one can materialize physically in your experience. The one you choose to observe with depth, with feeling, and with unwavering devotion. This is what acting as if truly means. It is not about pretending or self-deception. It is the sacred, disciplined act of choosing to observe what isn't yet visible to the physical eyes. Until it becomes undeniably manifest, you become the collapser of worlds. You become the creator when you stop just reacting to your senses and start consciously deciding where to place your focus. When you can look at your current circumstances and declare with calm authority, "This is not the complete picture. I choose to observe something greater." You claim your creative authority over the field. As you persist in this new observation, the perceived gap between your inner vision and your outer reality begins to diminish. What you previously only imagined becomes what you start to tangibly experience. Because you observed it as truth before any physical evidence existed, here is your invitation. Begin observing your future self as if they are already present with you. Feel their energy signature in your heart. Visualize how they move through the world, how they communicate, what they believe about themselves. Hold that image, that feeling, in your heart as if it is already your current reflection, because in a universe governed by observation, the most magnetic thing you can ever accomplish is to perceive with clarity what others do not yet see, and then to become that vision. There comes a moment, subtle yet profound, when you realize the universe isn't testing your worthiness, punishing your past mistakes, or withholding blessings from you. It is simply, and with perfect precision, responding to your energetic broadcast. The quantum field operates without emotion or judgment. It doesn't evaluate what you want and then question whether you deserve it. It doesn't examine your history, your karmic debt, or your stated goals. It reads only one thing: your moment-to-moment vibrational frequency. And it mirrors that frequency back to you, faithfully and precisely, every single time. This explains why life can sometimes appear so contradictory. Your conscious mind requests one experience, while your deeper, energetic vibration broadcasts something entirely different. You might visualize financial abundance while your body is vibrating with the deep hum of scarcity consciousness. You might affirm your desire for love while your heart resonates with old fears of rejection. You might envision freedom while remaining emotionally attached to the need for control. The comfort of doubt, or the habit of competitive comparison. The field doesn't argue or analyze these contradictions. It simply reflects back the energy you consistently embody. It is not personal, It is purely vibrational mechanics. This represents the fundamental shift in understanding manifestation. It isn't about persuading the universe to grant your wishes. It is about meticulously calibrating your own energy to match the frequency of the version of yourself who already possesses what you desire. That version of you already exists. It is an active potential in the field of possibilities, but you cannot access that reality from a frequency that contradicts its very essence. The field cannot deliver peaceful experiences to you through a chaotic, anxious vibration. It cannot provide you with feelings of worthiness through emotions of deep self-doubt. It's not because you are undeserving. It is because the vibrational frequencies simply do not align. They are on different radio stations. So, what is the solution? You stop focusing on manipulating external outcomes and you start the sacred work of cultivating your internal state. You begin the practice of observing your own faults, not to judge them, but simply to become conscious of them. You tune into your emotional baseline, not just your occasional feelings, but your habitual emotional home, because it is this baseline that broadcasts your most powerful signal. It is the frequency you maintain when no one is watching that establishes the true foundation for your reality. When you accept radical responsibility for your energetic output, everything transforms. You evolve from victim consciousness, life is happening to me, to creator consciousness, life is responding through me. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And you begin asking, with genuine curiosity, what am I vibrating that is attracting this experience? Not from a place of guilt or self-blame, but from a place of profound awareness and empowerment. The field serves as your mirror, but most people are continuously trying to change the reflection without ever altering what they are showing the mirror. They try to manifest increased income without healing their inherited scarcity stories. They seek romantic love without becoming someone who feels genuinely and deeply lovable on their own. They attempt to transform their external world without ever taking the time to examine their internal landscape. And the field, in its perfection, continues responding accordingly. Here is your moment of activation. Ask yourself, right now, with total honesty, what am I consistently observing? What stories am I emotionally repeating? What frequency am I living from? Not just during my meditation practice, but throughout my daily life. This isn't about achieving a state of flawless perfection. It is about cultivating consistency. It is about repeatedly, gently, and lovingly choosing to return to the frequency of who you want to become, until that frequency becomes more natural, more familiar, and more you than your old state of being, and then it becomes your new reality. Take a moment right now to conduct what I call a reality audit. Throughout your typical day, what percentage of your attention is focused on problems versus possibilities? When you wake up, what is the first thing you observe? Your worries or your vision for the day? When you are driving in your car, are you mentally rehearsing past negative conversations? Or are you imagining future successes? When you are going to sleep at night, are you reviewing what went wrong? Or are you feeling appreciation for what went right? This audit is not meant to judge yourself, but to bring the light of awareness to where your creative energy habitually goes. Most people are shocked to discover that 80% to 90% of their daily observation is focused on what they don't want, what isn't working, or what they are afraid might happen, and then they wonder why their reality doesn't change. But here is what is so fascinating. The moment you become aware of these automatic patterns, they begin to lose their unconscious power over you. Awareness itself is a quantum tool. The moment you catch yourself observing limitation, you are no longer unconsciously feeding it your energy. You have created a gap, a sacred pause where choice becomes possible again. And in that gap, you can ask yourself a quantum question. If I knew with absolute certainty that whatever I observe with sustained emotional attention becomes my reality, what would I choose to focus on right now? This simple question can redirect the entire course of your life, because it reminds you that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the conscious creator of them. When you truly recognize the field's neutrality, you reclaim complete personal power. Because if it is not judging you, it is also not limiting you. There are no energetic gatekeepers in the universe, only energetic agreements that you have made with yourself, and you can begin to renegotiate those agreements. Starting immediately, every moment is a fresh opportunity to redirect the course of your life by consciously choosing what to observe. With every breath, every belief, and every moment of conscious presence, you are casting a vote into the quantum field. You are declaring, "This is my identity," and the universe, your faithful servant, always responds, "Your wish is my command." Let this be your transformation. You do not need to earn your ideal life. You simply need to match its frequency. You need to broadcast it consistently, and you need to do so with the emotional authenticity of someone who already embodies it. This is why this moment is so significant. This is your opportunity to stop reacting and start radiating, to stop pleading and start broadcasting, to stop explaining and start embodying, because the field is perpetually listening, and it is always responding. If this message has connected with you on a deep level, affirm your new commitment in the comments below. Declare, "I am choosing what to observe." Let the physical act of writing these words serve as a powerful vibrational anchor, a clear signal to the universe that you are now viewing your life through the magnificent lens of creation, rather than the limiting lens of reaction. Understanding this principle is the key that unlocks the door, but walking through it and permanently leaving your old self behind requires another level of mastery. In my next video, let go of the old you, and reality shifts instantly. I reveal the exact process for releasing the outdated identity and energetic patterns that keep pulling you back into your past, so that your new reality can finally emerge effortlessly. It is the missing piece that accelerates everything we have discussed today. To ensure you don't miss this crucial next step on your journey, subscribe to this channel now and turn on all notifications. Your new reality is not waiting for you to find it. It is waiting for you to choose it.